Good afternoon, everybody. It is Friday, June 17th, 2022. Welcome to the Commissioners of Rehoboth Beach regular meeting in person at City Hall, Commissioners Room, second floor. I'd like to call this meeting to order at exactly 2:00 p.m. At this point, I would like to have everybody join me and rise and cite the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. With that, I'd like to start off with roll call. Commissioner Tony Sharp.
Here.
Commissioner Jay Legree.
Here.
Commissioner Ed Stranowski.
Here.
Commissioner Susan Gay.
Here.
Commissioner Patrick Gossett.
Here.
Commissioner Tim Bennett.
Here.
Mayor Stan Mills. We have a full complement of the mayor and commissioners who are able to fully conduct our meeting today because we have a quorum. Thank you all for being here. I'd also like to thank city staff that's here that helps make this meeting go. Ann Womack, city secretary, is here. Evan Miller, interim city manager, is here. Glenn Mandalis, city solicitor, sitting on my right, is here. Chief Keith Banks, chief of police, is here. Kevin Williams, director of public works, is here. Lynn Cohen, communications specialist, is here. And I think I got everybody here. Welcome everybody else. Glad to have those that are watching virtually on board with them. And also wanted to thank those that are here in person. So thank you for coming today. I'd like to remind everybody, of course, that support documents which support our agenda items that are available, and when they are available are embedded into the agenda. If you go to the city website, then seek out the legislative portal, seek the meeting date, click on it, and through the magic of different buttons, click on agenda support documents, and you'll see the same support documents that we will have in front of us. With that, I'd like to note that there have been no correspondence identified, correct, Dan? And from there, we'll go to approval of minutes. We have three sets of minutes we're going to consider for approval tonight. The first set of minutes dated June 30, 2022 are not yet ready, so we've crossed that off our agenda. And instead, we will be considering regular meeting minutes held on the following 3 days: July 16, 2021, February 18th, 2022, and March 18th, 2022. Are there any corrections to any of the minutes noted? I see nobody. We're going to vote in these in two different sessions. We're first going to consider, and I'd like to receive a motion to approve the meeting minutes for the regular meeting of July 16th, 2021. The only commissioners voting on that, since this is an old meeting, will be those commissioners present for that meeting, which would be Stan Mills, Patrick Gossett, Edward Chernowski, Jay Legree, and Susan Gay will be voting. Tim Bennett and Tony Sharp would be abstaining because they were not in attendance at that meeting. 2021. Correct. That's why I verbally made the correction. Thank you, Walter. With that, I seek a motion to from any of the five commissioners cited that attended that meeting for approval of the regular meeting minutes of July 16th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Susan Gay and a second by Commissioner Stranowski to approve the regular meeting minutes of July 16, 2021, now in front of us. Of the five commissioners present, I guess, let's do a roll call vote, I guess, is the easiest thing. Commissioner Gossett?
Aye.
Commissioner Stranowski?
Aye.
Commissioner Legree?
Aye.
Commissioner Gay?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. I assume Commissioners Bennett and Sharp abstain, correct? All righty. And so with that, we have a approval of the minutes dated July 16th, 2021. With that, everybody has indicated that the minutes of the regular meeting of February 18th, 2022 and the regular meeting of March 18th, 2022 appear to be correct. With that, all of us can participate in this vote, but I need to start off with a motion to approve those two sets of minutes.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Sranowski and a second by Commissioner Tony Sharp to approve the minutes of the regular meeting February 18, 2022 and March 18, 2022. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor of approval of the two sets of minutes as presented in front of us today signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, and so the motion to approve these two sets of minutes is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. With that, we'll go to the next item, which is the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners, and members of the public. We do have street aid expenditures for today. It just received this afternoon, so I'll work with Ann to put a support document in the agenda. All four expenditures are for Delmarva Power. The first in the amount of $217.68. The second in the amount of $8,712.94. The third in the amount of $129.16. And the fourth in the amount of $86.41 for a total of $9,146.19. Again, all for Delmarva Power.
Mayor, I move approval of street aid expenditure in the total amount of $9,146.19 to Delmarva Power.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Sranowski and a second by Commissioner Jay Legree to authorize payment for the street expenditures. Four invoices in front of us totaling $9,146.19. Is there any discussion? Before I call the question, I'd just like to ask the city manager, that's one of the biggest bills we've ever gotten. And can you explain, do you know what is new here?
I don't have the details just yet. I just have the account numbers and the amounts, but I can look into that and follow
Okay.
up with you. Mayor.
I think what's surprising is an $8,700 bill. I don't ever recall anything above 1,000 or ish or total. With that, we have a motion on the floor and seconded approving payment for Delmarva Power in the amount of $9,146.19. We'll just do a group vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None, and the motion to authorize that payment is approved unanimously. With that, we'll go to anything else?
I do have a report today,
Yep.
Mayor.
Very good.
The city will launch its Independence Day fireworks display on July 3rd, Sunday of this year. The fireworks are set to launch around 9:30 p.m. and will launch from the beach near Brooklyn Avenue. The funsters will kick off the festivities at 8 p.m. at the bandstand, and then they'll perform again after the fireworks display. To serve tens of thousands of visitors who come to Rehoboth for the fireworks, our police department, with assistance from other surrounding agencies, will coordinate traffic control. Several roads will be closed and specific routes required after the fireworks. Details about road closures can be found on the fireworks page of the city's website under the For Visitors section. In addition, the city will utilize about 30 portable restrooms this year to augment existing facilities. On the topic of water service line inspections, as part of the new requirements related to the EPA's revisions of the 1991 lead and copper rule, the city is ready to begin undertaking an inventory of water service lines on private property. The city has a good understanding of the materials used on the public side of water lines, so we're now starting to investigate the private side. A notification letter about these inspections was sent out to all property owners earlier this month, if you'll recall, and additional information and answers to frequently asked questions are now available on the city's website under current city projects. Inspections of the private property water lines, which typically will require access to the property's crawl space or basement, will begin the week of July 5th in an area from Lake Drive to Philadelphia Street between Bayard Avenue and Scarborough Avenue. There is a map depicting those locations as well on that website page. And then in an effort to reassure everyone that the city is not undertaking these inventories because of an identified problem, I do want to share that the lead and copper levels in the city's water samples, as reported in the most recent water quality report, are far below the required federal action levels. Speaking of the water quality report, the city's most recent 2021 report was posted on our website at cityofrehoboth.com/water-quality-report. And as federally required, postcards with information about the availability of the report online are being mailed to water customers this month. Customers may also request a printed copy of the water report be mailed to them by calling 302-227-6181, extension 159, which is our utility billing department. The collection bin requirements, as you know, the city's new requirement that refuse, recycling, and yard waste containers be compatible with tipper mechanisms on city trucks does go into effect July 1st. We have had a tremendous response from citizens, and the city has sold more than 400 city-logoed refuse bins. In fact, we have sold out twice now. Our next order won't be received until around August 1st, so we're encouraging residents to purchase compatible trash cans from other sources, or they can pay now for their city-logoed bin, and they will be delivered once they arrive. We will continue to pick up trash, recycling, and yard waste from properties that have non-compatible containers until the new bins arrive, and we are also working on notices that can be placed on the trash cans that are not compliant to notify people of the new requirement. City Hall, again, will be closed Saturdays this summer. There's no need for an election this August, so we made the decision to close City Hall on Saturdays this year. City Hall will also be closed this Monday, June 20th, in observance of Juneteenth. Other than holidays, City Hall is open to serve citizens from 8:30 to 4:30 on weekdays. Trash cans on the beach for the first time in 2 years. We're happy to report that we've placed trash cans back on the beach now that we have a full complement of staff. Recycling on the boardwalk continues. We continue to investigate each bag for contamination, and it's shown to be improving each week, so that's good news. We have approximately 60 to 65 cans, and again, they're placed only at the wider sections of the boardwalk currently. A quick update on parking. For the month of May in 2021, we had a total of $139,579, which covered May 28th through May 31st. Compare that to May of 2022 this year, which is May 15th through May 31st, $588,326. A comparison of Memorial Day weekend 2021, $83,069, compared to Memorial Day weekend this summer, $197,300. And the month of June totals I will present at the July meeting. I had a question at the last meeting about staffing, so just a quick update on staffing. Lifeguards, we have a full complement at 65, yet not everyone is here yet because of school. And we also have 10 on reserve for the fall. In terms of seasonal cadets, we typically look for about 26, and we've hired 21 thus far, and we've been able to adjust schedules accordingly. In the parking department, we still are doing well, but the department remains closed at 6 p.m., yet there are staff available in the department to talk to anybody who might call after 6 p.m. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions from the commissioners? Commissioner LeGree?
City Manager, would there be any way we could, the containers, the trash containers that the city sells, supplies, are phenomenal. And it should be we should encourage everybody who can to get one and to have them go out and try to get set in before July 1st and buy a container that's probably not nearly as nice as the ones that we provide. I wish there was some way we could say that we're not going to enforce it until our containers, which are on order, come in and give everybody a chance to buy one. It's just a great, they're great containers.
Sure. Yeah, and certainly because of that delay, we will continue to pick up the cans. We have, again, instituted a program where if we do have somebody who calls and they'd like to purchase a can, although we don't have them, we will accept payment for it. We'll write down their name, address, and make sure that we deliver that can once it arrives. Some of the challenges certainly with going out and purchasing a can elsewhere is making sure that it fits in your car. That can certainly be challenging, or a big package arriving from Amazon. We've also heard that some of the prices on Amazon and other sources might be a little bit higher than the cost we're charging for the city cans, which the city cans are at cost. There's no profit made on those, so.
I have a couple things, Mayor. First of all, Jay just articulated my problem, which is I discovered yesterday that they're out of stock, and so I would like to wait for the city can. So I'm glad to know that you have the flexibility to do that. I really appreciate it, and I think others will as well. On the map, the information that's online, the FAQs about the water line inspections, you mentioned there was a map that shows where it's going to be starting. Is that going to be updated as they move around town?
It will.
Okay, all right, great, thanks.
Do you have any idea what the age of the pipes that we're looking at are? It's been a long time since lead was used in plumbing, and I know we know about the goosenecks that are out at the main connection. Do we have any idea of what we're looking at as far as numbers or anything?
So I do know that of the approximately 6,000 connections, and again, this information is available on the website, of the approximately 6,000 connections from the water main to the service lines, about 2,500 of those are goosenecks. In terms of age, I would have to defer to the Director of Public Works to answer that question, but that's the information that I have in front of me. So.
I've got a couple
Go ahead.
things,
Go ahead.
Sure.
Evan. I'm great to hear about the parking revenue is much higher than I was anticipating it would be. So I do hope that once we have a better idea of how things are falling in later in the summer, I do hope that we readdress the budget and potentially move some CIP items up a year if we're able to. Because I think that's great to hear. As I've been walking around, I feel like the enforcement has been pretty strong. Every time I walk, whether it's on a metered street or a permit street, ticket. So they're certainly doing their jobs. So I went back and I looked at the police report from May of this year to May of last year. And last year, fines collected from meters was just under 3,000. This year, it's just under 30,000, which is pretty significant. Parking violations last year was just over 1,000. This year, it's just over 6,000. And I wanted a clarification on this one. Fines collected from permits was 750 last year. This year, it's just under 10,000. Is that violations of people that are parked on a street and they should have a permit and don't have one hanging in their window?
I see what you're looking at is the police department report, so I would have to confer with the chief to see whether or not that might be information that's different from what the parking department.
Quite honestly, we put it under the police officer's report, the police report, but it comes straight from the parking division.
Okay.
But I think you are correct where it's coming from, about the permits and not displaying.
Yes, but yes, yep. So permits are typically, I mean, the violation is for if somebody doesn't have a permit displayed.
I know we've added 11 days in May, but some of these numbers are fairly significant. So I found that surprising. That's all the questions I have. Thank you.
One, just a comment from perspective that may be a contributing factor that is the COVID aspect of people not traveling, greatly reduced numbers in the city, that type of thing. So that may have a strong impact on it with regards to the revenues. The people just weren't here, so.
Thank you. With that, we'll go to the city solicitor's report. Glenn Mandalis, please. You'd be glad to ask it, but I'm going to ask him to defer response till the citizen comment at the end. So you can either ask now or at the end. What? We're not entitled to an answer under citizen comment. Yes, you are. So you can ask now, but I'm going to be fair to him, to answer questions. I want him to be able to. Are you going to listen to me, Walter? You can ask a question now, but to be fair to him and any city manager, I want them to have time to contemplate what their response is, and to do that, that will be deferred to the citizen comment at the end of the meeting. You can choose to say something now or later, but it will not.
Walter Birmingham on 23 Henlopen Avenue. I was not at the meeting, but Wednesday night, the fire company was informed that the lot beside the firehouse, which is private property, is going to be fenced off for demolition of the front of the sandcastle, and it's going to be fenced. I spoke with the chief about it, or excuse me, the chief of the fire company, and he said he did not really know what's happening. And I feel like the city and the fire department and everybody else is unprotected, and I think the people don't know what's happening, and I'd like to ask some questions about it. And reasonably speaking, I think you all need to know what's happening, because I don't think you know. Thank you. That's my one.
Thank you. Make notes and choose to answer later or not. Thank you very much. Thank you, Walter. With that, we'll go to the next item of business, which is City Solicitor's Report.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple quick litigation updates on the 330 Rehoboth Avenue appeal. Remember, that's the request for a zoning of a portion of that property that was denied, and that's being challenged in court. The responsive pleading there, so the answer to the complaint, the city's answer to the complaint is due by July 1st. So that case is just, again, in its very, very early stages. And then another piece of litigation, which is the Margaret versus Rehoboth Beach Board of Adjustment. That one challenges the Board of Adjustment's grant of a variance to the Bellhaven project. We got a briefing schedule in that case. The opening brief of the appellant is due June 27, 2022. Answering brief will be due July 18, 2022. And the reply brief will be due July 28, 2022. So relatively short briefing schedule. And then after that, perhaps oral argument, and then the judge will make a decision. So that one actually has got a pretty tight briefing schedule, tighter than we typically see. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. With that, we'll move on to departmental reports. They were both submitted electronically. They are embedded in your agenda. I would just like to make reference to both the reports. Building and Licensing Department report for May 2022 is 3 pages long, and I just want to recognize that it takes time and effort to put these together. And if they were here, I would be thanking Building and Licensing. I'll do that through the city manager. Similarly, there's a police department report. If you've never seen it, it's embedded in there. This month's is 9 pages long. And Chief, you are here, so I want to thank you for the time it takes to put this together and for providing it on a monthly basis. So thank you very much. With that, no board and commission reports were identified. No committee reports were identified.
Excuse me, Mayor. Just a question on the board and commission reports. Previously, we have had written reports from the commissions. Has there been any activity, if you will, to reinstitute
Yeah,
that?
there is, and most recently the Planning Commission did, and then stopped, and I just kind of let it fall through the cracks. But all 3 groups, meaning Board of Adjustment, Parks and Shade Tree Commission, and Planning Commission, will be asked to give monthly reports.
Great. I know that our city secretary has been very active in pulling together minutes from past meetings, but I think it's important that the commissions also be reflected in writing. So,
Well, they're
thank you.
not, and they're not minutes.
No, I
They
understand
are
that, but still.
broad summaries, so that we don't have to wait for minutes. Because actually,
Correct.
waiting for minutes means it's way into the past.
That's right. That's why I just wanted to bring that forward again. So.
Yes, so they expect that. I hope to expect that for the next workshop meeting or regular meeting.
Thank
in
you.
July. Thank you. With that, we'll go to our liaison reports. For the Chamber of Commerce, we have Commissioner Susan Gay as the liaison to the Chamber. Susan?
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. First of all, Carol Everhart could not be here today, and I don't have a written report, but I do have notes from her and would like to give a comprehensive oral report if you don't mind. She normally gives visitation and occupancy statistics, so I do have some of those. But I want to start with one statement she got that now, in light of the parking revenue, surprises me greatly. And that is, she says that we have noticed a reduction in the day visitor, based solely on the visible available parking in downtown Rehoboth and reports from various downtown businesses stating sales are not as strong, and they're awaiting recent traffic counts from DelDOT. Well, in view of the parking revenue, that does seem a little surprising. The overnight visitation is very interesting, and this is somewhat of a mixed bag of statistics, meaning that I don't have all the numbers, and I went back and asked her about some things, but so she had to do some guesswork, but it is revealing in a couple of respects. They compared 3 years' worth, 2019, 21, and 22, on the Wednesday and the Saturday night occupancy. And this is all hotels in the Chambers group, so it's ones out on Route 1 as well from including down to Dewey. But, and this is a percentage of occupancy on Saturday nights just for the first week of June. And unfortunately, that was all she had for this, was the first week of June. In 2019, it was 92% occupancy, and in this year, 2022, was 82%, showing a 10% drop, which seems a little dramatic. However, the occupancy numbers for every day, January through Memorial Day in 2019, was 41,437, compared to this year at 55,998, so an increase of about 14,000. So that June weekend drop may simply have been the result of schools not being out yet, but as a percentage, the other reason is there are simply more hotel rooms now than there were 2-3 years ago. So that's the other factor. But occupancy in terms of raw numbers seems to be holding up very well and going up. The factors that she cited for the lower day trip visitation might be the earlier parking enforcement time, the variance in school ending dates, or the increased gas prices. And she says they've been nearby coastal destinations have been experiencing the exact same thing. On legislative matters, the Chamber follows a number of issues, and there are some that are working their way through the legislature right now: a climate change bill, a regulation that will impact municipal and county governments on ordinances, a workforce agreement, environmental permits, and all of the updates on those will be on the Chamber's website for anybody who wants to know the status. The kiosk on the boardwalk and the visitor center are both up and running, and they are getting visitation numbers there and visitor evaluations of the new restrooms. And that she will compile the questions and requests they have gotten, and will be sharing that with us at the next meeting. The recent restaurant week included 32 restaurants, and early reports, it just ended the other day, early reports are that it was very successful, and they're currently surveying each of the participating restaurants, and if the early reports are accurate, they look to be repeating that in the near future. They're also sharing the profits from the event to benefit the Rehoboth Beach and Dewey Beach Police, the Rehoboth Beach Fire Department, and military. ABC Good Morning America did a very positive piece about Delaware, and in particular Rehoboth Beach, and they were very happy about that. And in the meantime, the staff over at the Chamber is busy preparing for their fall general membership meeting, the leadership program, the Sea Witch plans, and even Christmas are already underway. That's all I have.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner, you cited this year's numbers versus 2019. Did she provide 21 numbers as well?
Yes, 21 is here. Which do you want, the percentage or the number of occupants?
The percentage.
The percentage in 21, this is for Saturday. I also have Wednesdays, but for Saturday it was 96%. So it went up a little from 19 to 21 and then down this year, but that's only the first weekend in June.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we'll go to the Commissioner Legree as the liaison to the Rehoboth Beach Historical Society.
Before I start my report, I'd like to welcome Bunky Merkert, who's in the audience and attending our meeting. He will be the newest commissioner sworn in at the regular meeting in September. Welcome. The Historical Society has started the walking tours again. The next one's going to be on the 22nd, which is a Wednesday They take about an hour, and wear comfortable shoes, bring a bottle of water, and enjoy the walking tour. It's a $10 donation. If you get on the website, you can see the upcoming dates, and I think the last one was the 6th of June. The next one's the 22nd, and after that, maybe the first or second Wednesday in July. But it's on our Rehoboth Beach Historical Society website. Also, the tickets for sale for the beach ball. That's the main fundraising event for the Historical Society in the year. So those tickets are available. You can buy them on the website. It's real easy to do, and everybody is encouraged. Thanks, Mayor.
Can I add something? You bet. Do you mind? I went to the reception at the museum for the new Cape Henlopen Lighthouse exhibit the other night, and it was fantastic. It's a really great exhibit. I would encourage everyone to go there and take a look at it.
I can't remember, but I think that's going to be on like until what, 27th of September, something like that. So it's
Through the summer.
it's really great. Thanks,
Right.
Mayor.
All right, and with that, we'll go to a liaison for Rehoboth Beach Main Street, Commissioner Srnowski.
We've got Greer Menable and Dan Slagle here. If you guys want to go to this microphone, it's a little bit better than that one.
And good afternoon to all of you. We are enjoying the beginning of summer, and things are filling up and buzzing around, which is absolutely wonderful. One of the things that I wanted you to know is that we are quite aware of housing for the J1 students, and we know it's problematic. So we are trying to reach out and work with everybody who is working on that, and lend our support wherever we can to try and find some solutions to that thing, to that aspect of it. One of the things that we're also trying to work with is the Southern Delaware tourism. I think teaming up with people is a great way to bring more types of events and types of applications to downtown Rehoboth. With Southern Delaware Tourism, we are helping them we're developing a South Delaware, it's called a Sidekicker. It is a mobile app that you can actually have on your phone. It's GPS based. So no matter where you are, it will show you what's going on. So what we're doing with them to assist with them is getting the word out about the Sidekick mobile app to all of the downtown businesses so that they can get, directly in touch with Scott at Southern Delaware and put this on. It's going to be free to them, which I think is the most wonderful part of all. And it will help get more information about their businesses and everything that's going on and all their specials that they're running out to everybody with all the new tourists coming into town, which I think is terrific. Another place that we're trying to complement and work with is because Commissioner LeGray was talking about the walking tours that you are doing. We are actually trying to complement those walking tours and developing a mobile app for walking tours within the city. The advantage of these are that it is going to be on your phone. You can go any time of the day, any time of the night, and it's going to be all professionally done and available to people. So we're working on that part right now. We'll tell you more about it as we keep going forward on that. I think that's going to be an exciting thing. Dan's going to talk about some of the upcoming events that we're working on also.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. Just want to talk about some of the events that are going on and some of the events that Main Street is working on that's upcoming. One of the events right now is at Love Liquors. We're having a wine tasting for every Friday from 5 to 8. So it's also called a Sip and Discover. It's a learning about all different kinds of wines, red and white wines. One of the distributors is there actually educating everyone. We're also partnering up with chocolates, also maybe cohos with cheeses and wine. So please stop by. It is free, and we'd love for you to come by. Also, the Cottage in Town Awards have kicked off for 2022. Applications to submit projects are due by July 30th. If you would like to nominate someone for a Cottage in Town Award, please visit our website at downtownrb.com, and it's under Member Resources. So if you see a property that's been renovated, so please make a nomination to us. We appreciate it. So the Cottage in Town Awards we're very proud of. So please visit that. Also, we're working on a fashion show for November at the Convention Center. That's going to be on Saturday. Forgive me. That's fashion show is on Sunday, November 13th. Also, we're working on a holiday stroll in December featuring downtown businesses. Stay tuned for more information on that. Also, again, our community unity dinner. Of course, we're talking about the fall and winter already, so we're getting ready for that. So stay tuned for more. I'm really pleased to tell you we have a summer intern this summer. We're really excited. He needs to get accredited hours of 160 accredited hours, so he's going to school for marketing. So it's a perfect opportunity for him to work with us and show him what we do in downtown Rehoboth. Right now, we have him trying to assess the number of empty storefronts that we have downtown and to determine the occupancy. We need to know this because we want to help strengthen the overall downtown community. As of right now, to this date, we have 5 empty storefronts. We are investigating to see if it is under lease, but as right now, it's 5 empty storefronts. So that's part of his task, is to go downtown and find that out. So we have many tasks assigned for him. Also, just to let you know, I'm sure you've already heard, the Gumbo Crawl was a huge success. Very, very excited. The whole weekend was beautiful. Downtown was packed and was really thrilled. Also, the Margarita Crawl was a success. So we like these events, getting people downtown. And if you have any questions for me, please let me know.
Thank you. Thank you, Dan.
Yes,
Commissioner
yes, sir.
Legree has a question.
Greer, I'm glad to hear that you folks are developing an app. We have been talking about doing that very same thing on the boardwalk with QR codes and an app. It's just really exciting. Keep up, and if we can help you, or Howard Menaker's the guy in charge, but if we can help you and coordinate, it's a great idea. Great idea.
I love it, and I love the idea of teaming up and working together and sharing to get these things done. We're working with a firm that's been doing this, and then they've got to have this operation set up all over the country. So we want to try and utilize them to help guide us with the getting professional speakers to put it together and have it done quite nicely. So I think you'll enjoy it once it's put together.
And Greer, these are self-guided tours, correct?
That is correct. So that way, if you come with a family and, and you want to go earlier in the morning, or you want to go late, or you want to go on a Sunday, it's all up to you. It's going to be a mobile app on your phone. You just walk with it, carry it, talk with it. It'll all work.
Hear more from us. We're glad to hear
Thank
that.
you.
It just opens up a whole world when you have an app on your phone.
Commissioner Sharp?
I'm just very curious of all the hard work that everybody does, the businesses, the restaurants. How do you actually go about, or how do you collect information from the businesses and restaurants about their sales, their optimism for the season, their nervousness about the season? I'm just kind of curious. You hear things that it's early in the season, but maybe some things are kind of unpredictable right now. But what do you hear?
I think one of the biggest advantages is we have Dan on the street all the time, and particularly with the new app. And I'll let you take it from there. But just having somebody out there talking to them, like they were your neighbor, and to really find out what's going on.
Yeah, we have an email blast too. We have emails for all our members downtown, and we get feedback, from them of different sales. So we have a great social media, and we also have a great website, and we utilize that by getting information from all the downtown businesses. And for myself, walking in and out of the stores, meeting not only with the managers or owners, with the employees to find out what kind of businesses going on, what things are going on. And what I'm hearing is mixed reviews. Some are doing really well from last year and some are not, but mostly positive. So I think it's important to have that personal contact, to actually meet with them in person. That is part of my job, is walking in and out of the businesses. And also I'm attending events for the residents. We're attending one on Saturday. So I think it's important for myself and for Main Street to meet with the residents and find out what their feeling is and see what they want from us. So I hope that
Well,
answered your question.
Well, it does, and keep up everything that you're doing, because, I talked to a number of residents who would love to go to the events,
Right,
but because of their realistic attitude that COVID is not over yet,
right.
they are holding back. And I have to say, honestly, that includes me. So, I'm trying to be more encouraging about interacting face-to-face, but that's kind of a hard nut to crack right now.
It is.
Yeah,
There's
and
always that challenge.
I
you
hope,
know.
as the summer goes on, that it's a very successful season.
I do too. I'm hoping so. And that's my report I can give you from me just going in and out of the stores and with emails and everything. Yeah.
Thank you.
Dan, if I may just add on to an answer for Commissioner Sharp, the organization committee of the board as well have instituted an ambassador program. So each business, besides Dan and Greer and other board members and the intern going around and talking to businesses, each business has an ambassador that they're reaching out to, I think, at least on a quarterly basis, and
yes.
filling out a report with some of the highlighted concerns or negatives or positives, concerns, and that's being then filtered into some type of spreadsheet, correct?
Right, absolutely. Yeah.
The big thing is we want them to know that we're really listening to them, and we want them to share with us how we can help them.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Greer.
Thank you, everyone.
With that, we'll go to fourth liaison report of four. Commissioner Ed Chernowski, you are a liaison to Cape Henlopen Senior Center.
Thanks, Mayor. The board asked me to thank all of the Mayor, you and the commissioners that attended the last pancake breakfast and open house. They appreciated everyone that attended. The next one is on Thursday, July 21st. 8:30 to 11 a.m. So that's what they've asked me to share.
July 21, sounds good. Yum. There we go. With that, there are no items of old business that have been identified, so we'll go to new business. The first item of new business is submission of nominating petitions for commissioner approval as to qualification of candidates to serve on the Board of Commissioners. I'd like to give us a little background first and read from the charter. Our structure of government and organization of our government stems from the charter for the city of Rehoboth Beach. I'm just going to read a couple excerpts here from Section 3, structure of the government of our city charter. The commissioners of Rehoboth Beach shall consist of 7 members, all of whom shall be citizens of the United States of America. At the time of the commissioner's appointment, they shall have attained the age of 21 years. Not less than 3 of the commissioners shall be designated resident commissioners. It defines a resident commissioner as shall be a bona fide resident and domiciliary of the city. The other 3 commissioners must either have the qualifications of a resident commissioner as defined above, i.e. a bona fide resident and domiciliary of the city, or be a freeholder of real estate located within the city. The commissioners shall be the judge of the qualifications of the members. Before we get into, I go to Glenn to just review the process today and how we're going forward. I find it important to formally recognize how many of us are residents and how many of us are non-resident commissioners. And we don't seem to have a formal process. I know each year somebody usually asks the candidates what they are. But I'm just going to start with myself. I am a resident commissioner with the title of mayor. I'm just going to go around. Tim, are you a resident or a non-resident?
I'm a full-time resident.
You're a resident commissioner, Commissioner Gossett.
President.
You are a resident commissioner. Commissioner Gay,
Non-resident.
you are maybe the sole outlier, we'll see. Commissioner Stranowski,
Resident commissioner.
you are a resident commissioner. Commissioner Legree,
I'm a resident, and I showed that identification when I turned in my petition.
correct. Commissioner Sharp,
Full-time resident.
so just FYI, we have 6 resident commissioners and 1 non-resident commissioners. Very good. So, Glenn, do you want to do any further explanation? I know that within the charter, it does say that the commissioners of Rehoboth Beach shall be the judge of the person's qualifications as prescribed by the charter. And at the regular meeting in June, which is right this minute, the commissioners of Rehoboth Beach shall sit in open meeting to judge the qualifications of candidates so nominated. Do you?
That's exactly right, Mayor. The only thing I'd add is that generally the city manager will list the nominating petitions and read the qualifications before you take a vote on each of the candidates.
And then what are we actually voting to do? The motion would be such as to certify each candidate
Correct.
as qualified
Correct.
to
serve as a commissioner.
hold office or something. Okay, very good. So we'll turn it over to City Manager Evan Miller.
Sure, thank you, Mayor. As follows, the nominating petitions were filed for the 2022 annual municipal election. Edward J. Trusnowski, a resident of the city of Rehoboth Beach, filed a nominating petition for the office of commissioner on Thursday, May 26, 2022 at approximately 2:25 p.m. Mr. Trusnowski provided a Rehoboth Beach, Delaware driver's license proving that he has attained the age of 21. The affidavit of the circulator stated that the nominating petition filed had 17 signatures. 17 of the 17 signatures were verified to be registered voters of the city of Rehoboth Beach. Would you like me to read the second one?
I'd like Glenn to explain the significance of 17 because there is a minimum and a maximum. Do you have that?
And I've actually forgotten those numbers, Mayor.
So he's going to look that up.
Yeah.
Let's
10
go,
and
let's
10 to
go to
25.
the next
10 to
one. We're going to go to
25.
the next one and we'll get back to
Sure.
Glenn. Sorry to put you on the spot there.
Jan Conacy, circulator, filed a nominating petition for the office of commissioner on Monday, June 6, 2022 at approximately 2:52 p.m. for Francis G. Markert. Mr. Markert is a resident, property owner of the city of Rehoboth Beach. Mr. Markert provided a Rehoboth Beach, Delaware driver's license proving that he has attained the age of 21. The affidavit of the circulator stated that the nominating petition filed had 25 signatures. 23 of the 25 signatures were verified to be registered voters of the city of Rehoboth Beach. That's all I have, Mayor.
So Glenn's still looking. I'm not going to put him on the spot, but there's a minimum and a maximum. Ed, do you recall what?
It's 10
I'll
and
read it for you. It's
25.
Section 6. It's the mode of nominations of candidates for elective offices of the city of Rehoboth Beach shall be by petition, signed by not less than 10 nor more than 25 qualified electors of the city, and filed with the Secretary of the Commissioners of Rehoboth Beach on or before 4:30 p.m. on the first Monday in June of each year preceding the annual election. Section 6, paragraph A.
Very good, thank you.
I was looking for the number 25 and didn't see it spelled out.
And the second note I wanted to make was city manager made reference to driver's license specific to age. The driver's license, I believe, is also used to recognize and identify whether they're a resident or a non-resident commissioner. So, correct. So they're both formally recognized as resident commissioners by their petition. Before we'll go to, we'll consider these. To be helpful and not be critical, just be helpful for the record. It's a state of Delaware driver's license indicating Rehoboth Beach is a place of residence. It's a state of Delaware driver's license. Are they both? They're both Delaware licenses. Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Rehoboth Beach, Delaware licenses. Thank you, Walter. With that, we'll take each candidate individually. I'd like to entertain a motion to certify Commissioner Ed Chernowski as eligible to hold future office in Rehoboth. What?
Right, to be a member of the Board of Commissioners. It's certified, you all have the ability to certify your membership. So you're certifying, they have the qualifications to be a member of the Board of Commissioners.
Move to approve?
Second.
So we have a motion by Commissioner Tony Sharp and a second by Commissioner Jay Legree to certify the qualifications of Commissioner Ed Chernowski to hold office going forward in Rehoboth Beach. Is there any further discussion?
Glenn, should I recuse or abstain?
In the past, everybody's voted for themselves.
Okay.
Absolutely
And
allowed to vote for
that's
yourself.
frankly looked upon as a signal of whether you have confidence in yourself or not. With that, if there's no further discussion, we'll take a group vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. And the motion to certify Commissioner Ed Chernowski is held unanimously. Thank you very much. With that, we'll go to second candidate in alphabetical order, Francis Markert. Will I entertain a motion for the same?
So move.
Second?
We have a motion by Commissioner Jay Legree and a second by Commissioner Susan Gay, I'm sorry, to certify the qualifications of Francis Markert to be able to hold office in Rehoboth Beach moving forward. Is there any discussion of this? With that, we'll do a group vote. All those in favor, certification as noted, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. And the motion to certify Francis Markert Jr. is carried unanimously. Congratulations. Thank you very much. With that, we'll go to the next item of new business, correct?
Correct.
Which is to set the city real estate tax rate for the tax year beginning July 1, 2022 and ending June 30th, 2023. Are you able to read that? Sure. Before Glenn reads it, I had him put in the amount, which tax rate, which mirrors exactly what it has been. And I'm doing that reflecting that during our budget talks, there was no discussion about any changes in the tax rate. So being assumptive, I had him put that in. So he will read it real quick.
So this is an ordinance to establish the tax rate or the tax on real estate and improvements thereon within the city of Rehoboth Beach for the tax year beginning July 1, 2022 and ending June 30, 2023. Whereas Section 24B1 of the Rehoboth Beach City Charter provides that annually the mayor and commissioners shall establish the rate of tax on real estate, including improvements thereon per $100 of assessed value. And whereas the mayor and commissioners desire to set the rate of tax on real estate for the tax year beginning July 1, 2022 and ending June 30, 2023 at 6 cents per $100 of assessed value, be it ordained by the commissioners of the city of Rehoboth Beach in session met in the manner following to wit. Section 1, the tax on real estate for the tax year beginning July 1, 2022 and ending June 30, 2023 shall be 6 cents per $100 of assessed value. Section 2, this ordinance shall become effective immediately upon its adoption by the commissioners of the city of Rehoboth Beach.
Thank you. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the ordinance to establish the tax rate on real estate for the tax year beginning July 1, 2022 and ending June 30th, 2023 that is in front of us.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion by Commissioner Ed Chernowski and a second by Commissioner Gay to adopt the ordinance in front of us establishing the real estate tax rate, which in this essence is no change from previous years. Is there any additional discussion among the commissioners?
Mayor, I'd just like to add some perspective to this. I think it's of interest that for the current tax year that we're looking at of 2021-2022 tax year that we're currently in, just some numbers to give us, again, some perspective. Our total properties that are assessed in the city are 3,223 for a total value of $3,536,439,100. The breakdown between land and building value on that is 80% is in land and 20% is in building value. We have 176,694,100 million in exempt properties, and that falls into the categories of church, government, nonprofit, schools, and the state of Delaware, for a total taxable base of $3,359,745. I just think that puts into perspective of what we're doing here at a 6-cent per 100 assessment, and just give our citizens some idea of what we're looking at with regards to the property value within the city of Rehoboth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Patrick, when were those numbers new?
These were provided by our tax clerk, Ms. Donna Moore, on March 31st, 2021.
Is there any further discussion among the commissioners? Have we called the question?
You're not.
I'm sorry. We'll call the questions. We'll do a group vote. All those in favor of the ordinance to essentially maintain the tax rate the same as it has been in previous years, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? And the motion's carried unanimously, and the tax rate remains the same as before, so the motion is passed.
Mayor,
Thank
can I
you.
step back to 13A, just to let everybody know like what the next step of the process is, or were you going to do that in comments?
Or what?
So the candidates have been certified now, and what happens? When do they actually become elected?
Oh, sure, go ahead.
So the state code requires that when you have an election where the number of contested seats is the same as the number of qualified candidates running, there is no need to have an actual election, so there will not be a municipal election this year. The Board of Elections, though, is required under the state law to convene a meeting, and they will declare the 2 certified candidates elected. And I think that's set to happen about a week before the date of the regular election. So that's where we are.
Very good. Thank you very much, Glenn. With that, we'll go to the next item, which is commissioner announcements or comments. I have none. Does anybody have anything?
Yeah. I have a couple of questions here. I was just want to comment, glad to see that the chief is here. And I would ask if we could look toward the future of having the chief here to make reports or answer questions with regards, specifically in July and August, which is our busiest time. I think it's important for a face to be put to numbers and what have you. The reports are excellent and very detailed, but I think to give a personal input, especially now that you have the responsibility of also the beach patrol captain. The beach is obviously why we're here, and to give that just a personal touch, I would ask that we'd consider having the chief here in a personal basis, at least for July and August meetings.
I'll confer with the city manager and the chief on that and see if we can make that happen. Thank you. Anything else? Anything else?
Not at this point.
All right, thank you very much.
Oh,
With that-
actually, I do take that back.
Yeah.
For a future agenda item, or I think I've questioned this before, and I don't know that we've really gotten a response or investigation, but we know that with regards to our tax base here, which we've just set the tax rate for, that the county is doing assessments for the first times in decades. And there are municipalities that have actually updated their charter to reflect utilizing the county's tax base assessments as opposed to individual city tax bases. And I'd just like to further investigate that, if that's something that the city would look into. As I say, other municipalities in the state have updated their charters to reflect that language as such, to utilize the city or the county's tax base, that also then would take any appeals of the county taxes or the assessments would be managed by the county as opposed to the city. So if we could investigate that, I think just the pros and cons, since this has been, several decades since the county or any of the 3 counties have done this, it might be something to investigate.
Yeah, we'll put that on our agenda. Just FYI, since you were on this topic, I have been in touch with Todd Lawson, county executive for Sussex County. He was unable to tell me exactly when assessors from the county would be entering in Rehoboth. It's just they're too far out, and their guesstimates have not been right on yet. So stay tuned with that. I had asked them about making a presentation to us, and actually I was directed to a county website specific to the property reassessment process. And what I've decided is that when we do finally get notice from the county about reassessment approaching Rehoboth Beach, we'll probably work with communications to send out notes and refer people to that county site, because it is an excellent site and it's got a lot of information that tells you what to expect, what the process is, how to identify and ensure that those coming to your house are indeed working for the county, et cetera. So we'll keep in tune with that. In the past, I brought up with the county executive also that at one time the municipalities were able, for just pennies, buy electronic records of everything. And certainly that would, as you're inferring, that would be the way to go to save us a lot of money. And not doing it in-house anymore, and be a lot cheaper in the end. So yes, we can double check our charter to make sure it's commensurate with the new program once the county comes through. Any other comments?
I just have one quick question, because I know this is not on our agenda, but I've had a couple of constituents ask, as they recalled our assessment, I think we were pretty transparent that it was not a revenue-generating assessment. And they had the same question, and I did not know the answer, maybe I should have, of what is the goal of the county assessment besides the fact that it's been decades, just as ours was?
Well, they have the same restrictions that we do.
Do they? Okay.
So it's not a revenue generator.
Okay.
And I think actually counties have a little different nuance to their rules or something.
Well, it has to be revenue neutral. So, individual taxpayers may go up and some may go down, but the revenue generated has to be neutral, no increase.
But for the first 2 years, I believe.
Years, right?
2 years at that, yeah.
Commissioner LeGray?
I suspect that's countywide, so we may not be revenue neutral here, but it probably equals out some other part of the county. I may be wrong, but
That's correct.
Well, we're getting too much into it right now.
Sure.
So when the appropriate time comes, we'll put it on the agenda. But again, I will start off with directing people to the county website.
No idea when that will start then here. He didn't have any idea.
No, that's what I initiated this conversation with. They have no idea. Yeah, very good. Review future meeting dates. The next Mayor and Commissioners meeting is a public hearing in terms of the CDP on Tuesday, June 28th at 9 a.m. And then the following Tuesday, July 5, is the rescheduled 9 a.m. workshop meeting, our typical workshop meeting, which is pushed a day back because of the July 5th holiday. With that, we'll go to citizen comment. I haven't reiterated in a long time, many years, about citizen comment. This is the opportunity for citizens to comment on things that are not on the agenda. And questions and comments are disposed of in different ways. One is if it's just a regular comment, we're thankful for the awareness. If it rises to the level where it requires to be researched, then that would be deferred and perhaps assigned to somebody, such as the city manager or one of the commissioners or one of the chairs of a committee. And if it rises even beyond that to where it needs discussion and debate, then that's a decision about deferring to a future agenda item on a future agenda topic. So no, we can't necessarily answer every question in citizen comment when it comes up, but we'll certainly do what we can do and work within freedom of information. Walt, anybody else like to say something?
Good afternoon, Walter Birmingham, 123 Henlopen Avenue. I come as a friend. I appreciate having the chief here and Kevin here. As I said in my one line earlier, the fire company membership was informed that there's going to be a demolition of the front of the sandcastle starting first of the week. I'm a member of the fire company. I've asked some questions. I feel what I have to say is relevant based on what I know. And I appreciate Evan giving the Delmarva power bills, and the rest of the report was fine, but I think what's going on, when I heard that the city of Rehoboth put a stop work order on a motel project on Columbia Avenue, and apparently they're going to, in midsummer, rip off the front of the Breakers Motel. So maybe in fairness.
Wait. Breakers Motel?
Or excuse me, thank you.
Thank you.
Sandcastle, appreciate that. And maybe to simplify this, and first of all, we sucked the chief into it, and he has been absolutely fantastic, I think, to streamline some stuff. But maybe Evan and Kevin can give us some insight as to what's happening here and why, it's here in the middle of summer, and then if I still have any questions, reserve the right to ask them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you
Sure.
want-
Yeah, Mayor, and I do appreciate the time to go back through emails and pull all the information that I have on this subject. So beginning June 20th, next week, the fence that is in front of the Sandcastle Motel will be expanded west towards the fire company, but against basically the width of the property. And expanded further out onto the sidewalk to accommodate a demolition and the demolition equipment. The contractor at the time will be maintaining a 7 to 8 foot pedestrian path on the sidewalk during the week when the demo is taking place. And the sidewalk area is going to be swept and blown daily to ensure a safe, no-shoe walking zone. Furthermore, they are planning to have people on the sidewalk daily to basically ensure clear passage of pedestrians walking along Rehoboth Avenue. And then by no later on noon Fridays, the fencing will be restored to the existing locations where it is now to prepare for the weekends. A roll-off container for debris will be positioned for use in the alleyway, if you will, adjacent to the demo area. So it'll be up against the hotel and between the hotel and the fire company. The alleyway, again, will be coned off, not fenced off, to preclude access except in the event of an emergency. Vehicles will be able to pass by in the event of an emergency, and a driver will be on standby in the event that the dumpster has to be removed. The 8 parking spaces that are in the alleyway will be relocated to the main parking lot behind the fire station. You'll recall that those parking spaces are used for the fire company only. So those 8 spaces will be relocated, and they will be signed as such by the city. The city will invoice North Star for, after completion of the demo work, for occupancy of those 8 spaces. And again, this is an extra precautionary measure to ensure that there's no safety concerns or any property is damaged while walking or driving along the proximity to that demolition. The schedule, so the first week, again, is scheduled Monday, June 20th through Thursday, June 23rd. The hours will be 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and the fence will be returned to the existing location, again, by noon on Friday. The second week, the schedule is Monday, June 27th through Thursday, June 30th, hours 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Again, the fence will be restored to the existing location no later than the end of the day on Thursday to prepare for the weekend. And no demo work will be permitted on the weekend and from July 1st through July 5th. Demo work will commence again on July 6th, hours returning to 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and work is expected to be completed by Friday. And these plans have been reviewed and approved by city staff as well as the fire company and police department as well.
Thank you, Evan. I have a question on, will we have enough city staff monitoring this to make sure everything goes smoothly? By example, the very first date of relocating some of the fencing is this coming Monday, which is a holiday.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly, you know, the police department's always here, dispatch is always here. And I think Kevin will also acknowledge the fact that the contractor's been great to work with, and whatever we ask of them, they're willing to provide.
Evan, I hate to ask a stupid question, but don't we have a prohibition on demolition during the summer?
So it is for not the entire structure, but I believe a wall or a component of the structure. But yes, that's correct. I think both the city and the contractor both want the work done. And so we've allowed them to at least do a portion of the demolition.
I mean, it is specifically prohibited in the code. Any demolition of any building or structure which has a square footage of 750 square feet or more, I'm certainly assuming it does, and/or a connection to city water or sewer lines, which I assume it does. I mean, it's expressly prohibited, and, you know, people work around this all the time. I don't understand why they got a special dispensation.
When's the last day of the project? From your narrative, it sounded like mid-July.
Yes, so July, I believe it was July 8th, I think is at least the work on the demolition would be completed.
And when will the,
Entire project, I'm not sure when that would be. October.
so we got this going on all summer, it sounds like. I thank Mr. Brenningham for bringing this up.
So why was the exception made? I heard what you said, that the city and the contractor want the work done. But as a commissioner, I think that makes it hard when others in town say, well, if so-and-so can do it and get special treatment from the city, why can't I? So I'm just kind of curious, was it just limited to the rapport between the contractor and the city?
No, I don't believe that was the case. I mean, Kevin, if you want to chime in, but again, I think it was strictly just the fact that it's a project that, you know, we'd like to get wrapped up as soon as possible. So we were just trying to accommodate their schedule. So we can go back to them and request that they cease all work for the summer if that's.
Well, I don't think, I mean, to me, that's not living up to our word. You know, if you made that agreement with somebody, it's just trying to look forward into how those things are sometimes perceived by others.
Wait a minute. 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 If it's the pleasure of the commissioners to challenge this, then I'd be willing to have an emergency meeting to discuss it. But this is not something that we can further discuss and make decisions on at this particular meeting. So
I don't want to challenge it.
okay. But, I mean, I hear you. I hear you very clearly, because we know over the next many summers, every summer going forward for the next 5 summers, we're liable to have a project out there. So,
Yeah.
so again, if there is any challenge to this beyond right this minute, I need to know so that we can.
I don't want to challenge it either, but I also don't want it to set a precedent.
Thank you.
I agree with Commissioner Chernowski.
And I just have one follow-up question for Edward, which is that I think it was actually reported a couple weeks ago that the sidewalk was going to be closed off, and I didn't think of it at the time till after the meeting that I was concerned about that. But from what I heard you say today, there will be a pedestrian sidewalk
Yes.
still remaining, and it'll be on the sidewalk, not in the street. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay,
Yep.
that's fine.
Well, and I was pleased to hear that it's at least a minimum of, I think you said 7 or 8 feet, which follows close to our outside dining policy on public sidewalks, so that they're not getting any super special treatment there. Walter, did you have a follow-up?
Sidewalk needs to have no benches on it out front if you're only going to have 6 or 7 foot, so baby carriages and everything, two-way traffic can come through. I'm not asking to stop the project, excuse me, but I don't know where the authority came from, and I don't think it matters here and now. It'll happen in the future. Let me just ask another question, get it out of the way. Norfolk Street bidding, when's that project due? September, October, what?
No, could you
Doesn't
say
say in the
again?
bid notice. People are asking. That's a side comment.
The water.
You have a bid
main
advertisement
and
that's
repaving.
already had a pre-bid meeting. So when are you proposing to do that, in high summer?
I'd have to check with the Director of Public
How
Works.
can,
and see.
respectfully, how can you not know that? Okay.
So the bids were advertised last week, maybe a week and a half ago. They open middle of July, go to the board in August, and award after Labor Day, and probably go to construction in October.
Thank you.
Walter, one more item, please.
I know, realistically, sir, I have several things on this
That's
subject.
all right. I'm giving you one more item because you do not have unlimited time.
Well,
Nobody
let's try
has,
it this
nobody
way.
has
When the lady
unlimited
from the
time.
lakes comes in here, she gets 41 minutes. I have important stuff, and you guys,
You have one more thing, or I'm going to adjourn the
this
meeting.
whole, I'm
right-
considering my front page one thing.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
So folks, if you'd like to listen to it after the meeting,